Hey, I'm Brian Landry. I'm the chef at Bourne Restaurant in New Orleans, and I'm also the chef for the Gulf Seafood Marketing Coalition. I'm here today to talk to you about fresh Gulf oysters. And one of the great things about Gulf oysters is how versatile they are. Besides being delicious raw, my favorite way to eat them, you can cook them a bunch of different ways. And one of the most famous ways down in New Orleans we do is charbroiled. So what we're going to do today is make this delicious compound butter. We're going to put that over our oysters, throw them in our broiler, and just cook them for a couple of minutes just till the oyster starts to curl. It's warm through, but it's not overcooked. It's going to be delicious. If you don't want to do this inside, if you want to move your party outside, throw them on the grill, just as easy. Same process. I'll show you how simple it is. We start with a little bit of softened butter. And we'll go right into our mixer. Turn that on. Whip it just a little bit, just to soften it up. Get that butter nice and soft. Next key ingredient, garlic. Good amount of chopped fresh garlic. We also have some fresh thyme I've already minced up. Get a nice herbaceous quality to that butter. Fresh parsley, same thing. Keep your flavors nice and bright and fresh. Couple of ingredients you may not know about. This is called smoked paprika. It's a Spanish ingredient. It'll give it this nice earthy, smoky quality. If you're gonna put them on the grill, this helps pick up that grilled flavor as well. Nice smoke to it. I'm gonna put that right in. We also have a little sambal chili paste. It's a nice garlicky red chili paste. It's gonna add a nice kick to our butter, give a little spice to these oysters. So we'll turn that on another minute. Whip it real good. Next thing we're going to do is add a little bit of lemon zest and juice. We love using the zest of lemon because of all the essential oils it has. Gives it nice, bright, fresh qualities. We're going to zest it all around. You don't want to zest it too hard because we don't want to get any of the pith. The pith is the white part that can make it a little bitter. Get that in there. And then we'll cut our lemon. Make sure we don't get any seeds. All right. Turn that back on. The other thing you want to notice is what kind of butter you're using. If you're using salted butter, then you probably won't have to add any salt to it. In this case, I've used an unsalted butter, so I'm going to go ahead and add just a touch of salt to it. And also, the other thing you can check too is eat one of the oysters raw and see how salty the oyster is ahead of time. That'll help determine how much salt you actually want to add to the oyster. The final ingredient going into our compound butter is panko breadcrumbs. These are nice Japanese style breadcrumbs. They're going to help bind to this butter and make a nice crust when we broil our oysters. So put a little bit of that in there. And we'll go a little slower this time. The consistency we're looking for is almost like a wet sand, which we've achieved here. It's just enough breadcrumb to help bind the butter so that when we stick it under the broiler, that the butter just doesn't run off the top of the oyster. So we have this, and what we'll do is we're just going to put a nice little dollop of compound butter on top of each oyster. And again, one of the things about Gulf oysters is how versatile they are. So many famous dishes using Gulf oysters: oysters Rockefeller, oysters Bienville, charbroiled oysters sound like Forrest Gump. So many different ways you can do this. So we have our oven set to broil. It's about 500 degrees. It's only going to take a couple of minutes. We'll pop them in, check them out in just a second. All right, so it's been about 6 minutes. Oysters looking great, smelling great. And here they come. Man, those look good. So, key here is the oysters. If you look at the edges, they're just starting to curl. They're not overcooked. The breadcrumbs have held the butter onto the oyster, forming a nice crust. These things are going to be delicious. All we're going to do is finish them with a little chopped parsley. Looking good, smelling good. So simple. Charbroiled oysters. Again, if you want to do them on the grill, have fun, do them on the grill. Just as easy. Delicious Gulf oysters.